I'm gonna do a couple hammer handles, or maybe one if I mess one up. We'll see. But it's for these two hammers. This was actually a hammer pick, which I cut the end off of, and I'm gonna have to re-harden it. But wait, actually, I can't do this one. Yeah, we're gonna make one hammer handle. See right there, the blackening? That's from when I tried to smack the hammer on. You can see where it's pressed the wood in, and it's kind of shiny and it's kind of dark from the steel. And that's where I need to take off, because that's where it's hitting. So if I take off there, that's my high spot, it'll get a tighter fit. Alright, so what you've been seeing me do to put this on to test, just give it a little tap against the ground to start, but you're not going to hammer it against the ground all the way. You're actually just going to hold it above, just hold it here, and then smack the hammer handle. And it's going to drive itself on. Doesn't take much. And what you're looking for as you fit it as well is a gap right there. You can't see one because I've gotten it to where there isn't one, but you can see a little bit right there. You can see that shadow right where the handle and the head meet. So that's a spot where you're going to want it to stay away from. So you take away from everywhere else, and you'll get a nice snug fit. clean it up a little on the backside, because Alright, what am I using for the wedge? I don't know. It's soft. I'm not really worried about material. Make sure that it's long enough to actually fit in the hourglass shape. You know, the depth of your hammer, basically. A little bit longer than that is good. And it's a nice shallow taper like that. Alright, so we're all set. Make sure at the very beginning of doing this whole process that you decide a side that you want. You pick a side that you want the hammer to go on every single time. So you pick a side that's the top of the hammer, you pick a side that's the bottom of the hammer, you pick a side that is going to line up with on the handle. So that you're not doing this, you're not fitting it this way and then this way and then you're fitting it this way and you're fitting it in a bunch of different orientations than the one that it's actually going to end up in. So you're never going to get a tight fit. So you got to make sure that you always fit it to the same side. Looks good. I had to widen my saw kerf a little bit with a bigger saw and kind of give it a bit of a V at the top, just so that I could fit my wedge. We're gonna very carefully drive that in now. I think it looks pretty good. So, it's ovular, it's roughed in, it's pretty smooth, it fits in the hand and registers well. So this doesn't feel as comfortable as this. It does all of the things that a handle should do at this point. So now, we're going to completely rip off another artist. Okay, so what I did here is I made inch marks all the way from the bottom of the handle all the way to the top. I did the same on the other side. And then I picked an angle that looked nice to me, and I drew that around until it intersected. I tried to make it so that it would intersect with one on the other side, one of my inch marks on the other side. And then I just counted up how many inch marks that was. So in this case it was 1, 2, and then on the third one is where it is. So it goes 1, 2, and then the third, it intersects. So I just made sure that when I made the rest of my lines, those are the same. So then my angle is more or less the same. I did this by hand, so it's still not perfect. So here it is. Turned out really good, I think. Very, very happy with it. To round these over, I just, sandpaper and just rub down the whole thing, try to get it down in there as much as I could. Yeah, I could have done better. Down in there, I'm not worried about it. It's a handle. Like, it is what it is. But I did go over it with this one. So it's a larger radius than what I used to cut those grooves in the first place. So that makes it, that kind of knocked off those corners that I had created, in addition to all the sandpaper. So while I roll the beauty shots, we're gonna explain what artist I ripped off earlier. It's actually Will Stelter, who's a blacksmith and a darn good woodworker too. He makes absolutely incredible knives and chef knives mostly, but he also made a cobbler's hammer, which I copied the handle off of. He made the actual head of the hammer and the handle as well. I just made the handle and bought a hammer at the flea market, cut the handle off. So I'll show some before and after here as well for that. You should definitely check him out. The link's in the description for his video. If you want to make your own, it's not that difficult. You just need like 4 tools, really. You need like a saw, a rasp, a rat tail file, which is basically just or a chainsaw file, which is basically just a round file, and some sandpaper. It's really, really basic tools, really, really basic operation. You just need the know-how. If you want to really know how to make a hammer handle and how to set it properly and everything, there's dozens, hundreds of videos out there that do a way better job of explaining it than I ever could. So that was not really the purpose of this video. In fact, I'm not really sure what the purpose of this video was, but I hope you enjoyed it anyways, and I will see you in the next one, hopefully.